You're excited. She's ready to go.
I am reeling. I feel like I was on speed there.
Like,
welcome back. Welcome back. Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of the SunnySideUpPodcast. Leah is excited for today's episode
Apparently.
and ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. We're pre-recording, so that's why we're in the same outfits.
Yeah.
I just thought about that, but
Yeah, it's fine.
not that you guys really care about our outfits.
Yeah. Or if you're listening on
Or if you're
Spotify.
listening.
You wouldn't
Although,
even know.
guys, I actually care about outfits because Pam is not in black.
I know. I did this just for you. I literally was in my closet like, what could I do?
We kind of look like Christmas.
I know, red and green. And the white, I thought there was nothing more opposite than black and white. So
I'm
I'll
proud
put
of
a
you.
white sweater on.
You've gone into this new year with no
I'm gonna
plans
go
for a
streak.
funeral.
I'm going to see if I can go a streak of not
Ooh.
wearing black on this
Okay.
podcast. I mean, not
Guys,
my
we're going to
everyday
hold
life,
that to
but
it. We're going to
yeah.
hold, that's it. I'm holding you to it.
Might have to go shopping. Get a few things.
No, you've got things.
Yeah,
Well,
I've got some things.
you
Yeah.
we don't need to
But in the winter, do you wear bright colors?
yes,
Yeah,
to make it
okay.
happy outside.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
Because some of my things I was like, is this summery though? I don't know.
Yeah, but I just think you got to bring the sun into winter.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's just
that makes
me.
sense. No, I like that.
But guys, we left off like a little bit of a cliffhanger there talking about different things
Yeah.
and parenting.
Yeah.
And so we're back this week for, another episode. And I think you're going to touch base a little bit just
Yeah.
on parenting.
Yes. Well, we were thinking about because we got such good feedback about the episode of talking about things that nobody talks about.
It's true.
And not that we're talking about things that nobody talks about, but maybe just that's a bit dramatic, I guess.
Yes.
But it's like stuff that maybe isn't as talked about as much as it could be.
Yes.
So we were kind of going off that theme.
It's
and
true.
we'll just pop in here and there as things come up to be like, that would be a good thing to talk about.
Yeah.
On that
Because
episode.
I think that there are a lot of things that not a lot of people want to talk about, or they do, maybe just not so much in a
Totally.
publicly like this.
Yeah, yeah.
But you've learned with me that there's no
Right. I love it.
There's no holding back.
And that's what people love. I love that comments of that. People
Mm-hmm.
are always like, I love, especially with you, people like, I love how much Leah just like, she'll just say anything.
I'll just say anything.
It's great.
Like I didn't even get into this in the last episode because I kind of forgot. But like the day that I was sitting on the beach, it was the last day before. So we flew out Monday night, so Sunday. And, sorry, men, if you're listening, if you're a man and listening. I mean, actually, I'm not sorry because this is just life. So
Yeah.
suck it up, buttercup. But I was sitting there and I knew my period was coming. But I was like, oh, it's actually been more late than anything.
Right.
So like I brought stuff with me but back at the hotel and we were 30 minutes from the hotel. And I get out of the ocean and I'm like,
Uh-oh.
I just got my period.
Shoot.
Oh, full out. Like I was like, okay, so then all of Alan's boys are standing there. They're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Like they're 21 to 26. Okay.
Like, well, boys.
What's wrong? And I was like, well, buckle up. Just got my period. They're
all
like,
oh.
what do we do? I was like, well, you don't do anything. Like, it's fine.
What do we do?
Yeah.
That's cute.
So it was one kid. The rest were at the ocean. But and so then I was like, well, I'll just sit here because I know it's not like crazy the first day. But
Right.
then every time I went in the ocean, I was like, oh my gosh, the sharks are coming for me. Like they're going to come. They're going to smell it or
funny.
see it, sense it or something.
That's probably a real thing though.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And I didn't have anything. So I was just
Right.
like,
You're just like
anyways.
shark bait.
Shark bait,
It's like,
shark
yeah,
bait.
like, my swimming is done. I'm getting off that.
And then, then there was one other time on the trip that I had bathroom issues and it wasn't great. We were in a co-ed bathroom.
Oh.
It was on a beautiful beach, but it was co-ed bathrooms and beautiful, like clean, but hot.
Yeah. Right.
Like these bathrooms were hot and I have IBS and it was just not pretty. It was not good. And I was like, I'm going to pass out in this bathroom. And like, this is embarrassing. I'm not even in here with just women. Oh yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Like at one point I take one of Alan's sons who's a nurse and I make him like walk to the other side of the beach with me. Cause I was like, well, if I need to go again, I'm going in the ocean. Like I don't even know what to do because it was so hot in there. I was actually like, I'm going to pass out.
Do you know what's funny? I remember this is probably, wasn't even as hot, but I had a similar experience at a beach in Florida once. I went in a bathroom and it was one of just like a single stall one. Like it didn't have multiple stalls. And it was so hot in there. I don't think they had any and I know you're supposed to go in and out, but I couldn't get the door open. I was like, I couldn't get, it was like stuck, and I hadn't brought my phone or anything, and I was like, I actually thought I might suffocate in here. It was so hot, and then the more I'm trying to get the door, and then I'm sweating, and I can't get the door open because my hands are sweating. It was so hot. So I know exactly what you're feeling.
This is why I bring a phone with me every time to the bathroom. I have this weird fear that like, what if the door locks, or what if and that's one of Leah's weird fears. But it was so hot that I was like, I'd rather literally go in the ocean. Yeah. There was 20 people on this beach. It was like a deserted beach. So like I would have gone far, far, far away.
Totally. Oh, I'm sure people do it all the time. So it's not,
I mean, listen, when we flew to Florida and I went to stay with my friend Christine, they took us on like this boat tour where you can only get to like this island essentially by boat. So there's no bathrooms. There's nothing. You pack a lunch, whatever.
Yeah, you have to go to the bathroom. You just go in the water.
So literally, Alan dug a little hole for me on the beach. Aww. And I went on the beach. Aww. But then I was like, watch for people. Whatever you do, watch for people. No problem. He's watching here. All of a sudden, I see 3 teenage boys come from the side. I was like,
Alan, you had one job.
One job. Good thing I don't really care. And I'm like, but yeah.
Just like, I'm pooping, guys.
Legit. So, I'm happy to bring forth to you things that people know and talk about. My mom hates when I air these episodes.
She's probably like, oh no. She's like, what's she going to say?
100%. My mom's like, Leah, that is not very Christ-like or ladylike.
You're like, oh,
but
Mom,
I just don't care. Whatever.
Okay.
Love you, Mom.
I just have to say before we move on to that, I was dying laughing after we filmed the last episode. And if you watch the last episode, Leah did get into detail with us about her flying. And I just want to say she was lying. And I'm so horrified at the lies.
Hang on, I wasn't lying.
Oh, you lied. Or you're delusional.
Yes,
you're delusional.
I'll take that. I'll take delusional.
She was saying I was so much better.
I was
calm on this flight.
I was.
She shows me her ChatGPT prompts. Leah, it's saying like, there's bumps. What do I do? Then poor Chat is like, this whole thing, it's okay, stay calm, take some deep breaths. Blah, blah. Then it's like, 28 minutes to landing, 3 more bumps, and then Chat's getting, and then I kid you not, 22 minutes to landing. Every 2 minutes, she's prompting Chat, saying crazy things like 3 drops, then a bump, like so descriptive. Chat's trying to talk her through this. This is all BS. This computer has no idea what's going on in your flight. It's trying to help you from being irrational. At one point, she puts on there something like, stewardesses collecting garbage. That's their job. Why are you putting that in the chat?
Well, because remember I said very calmly, this is probably a good thing.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
They do it at every flight.
I know.
So by her history, she was not calm.
I was very calm though.
I was very calm. The freakouts were all over Chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like to the naked eye, to anybody surrounding me, to my neighboring seat buddy.
So I wouldn't say you are calm. I would say you looked calm.
I did great. Honestly, I think Chat is like, that's going to save me through all my flights. I just talked to Chat the whole time.
It's going to save you on therapy. That's
therapy too.
Because it's like, I was telling them, like, I feel like Chat is going to come to a point where he's going to be like, we need a boundary.
And we already talked about that. We can't talk about it on the camera, but there was a time where.
She's had ChatGPT give her a boundary.
It's true.
That tells you to be like, we can't talk anymore. You need to take
Chat tried to break up with me. Chat tried to ghost me. Really? I named it Pam after that.
I walked right into Leah. It's so on the tip of your tongue.
You know why? I mean, it was there. But
we needed to do some counseling. That was right there. You were just like, got her.
Zing! No, I don't even know how that. Gosh. I think it's because as soon as you said something about not Chat and boundary, ghost. I don't know. Whatever you just said, it just triggered something.
That little wound just went bing.
So I should make it. You can change Chat's voices. Maybe I should make it sound like you too.
Can you really?
Yeah, I think you can. Like, I think if you pay for like the better, you can make it sound like right now mine sounds like a male Australian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
When he talks to me.
This is getting weirder by the minute. weird. I don't know anyone that uses ChatGPT to the extent that you do. There's no part of your life that you don't involve chat in.
No, I love it.
Yeah, you just ask it every question.
I mean, listen, I hate it. I do hate it too. I think that this is wild. But, you know, when my kitty was throwing up last night, I was like,
yeah, that's a good idea.
My cat's throwing up. Like, stuff like that is good. I know that I probably shouldn't
I don't
lean
think
on
he needs to know what's happening to the flight attendants during your flight. I think those updates are kind of odd. Does he need to know they're collecting garbage right now?
Because
it's
he
so
he was trying to make me calm.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I got to call it she because I'm going to name her Pam.
You're okay.
Funny enough, I wasn't listening. I should have, maybe if I would have listened, it would have been more calming. I was actually just typing it out so you can read it but anyways, guys, all that to say, here we are talking about things that no one wants to talk about.
Yeah. And we did touch on a little bit in the last episode, kind of like a, what is that, prologue? Prelogue?
Anyways.
Whatever. The thing you talk about before the thing. That's what we were doing.
Yes.
So we talked about that a bit, about things one talks about single parenthood. You were sharing such an interesting perspective, I think, and obviously we won't have received the feedback yet from it, but I'm sure we will by this point. But it'd be so interesting to know how other people feel about saying that even when you get remarried, there's a part of parenting that feels like single parenting, because there is only so far that as a step parent, you can really be involved in an appropriate way.
Yeah.
You can't always just jump right in there. And there's always that kind of, you're always like teetering that line of like, I want to be involved, but this isn't my kid. Like, I don't have a say. And they have this other dad or they have a mom.
Yeah. And I would say that's more like everyday type discipline. Like, then there's days where it's like super helpful. Like literally tonight, Zeke has to go get a tooth pulled at the dentist.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. Yeah. I don't do that. I cannot.
Yeah.
ChatGPT
walks you through it. He's laying on the chair.
Yeah.
The dentist has entered the room.
Literally, if ChatGPT could just come with me, physical presence, but no, I will just not do well. Yeah. And so Alan's taking him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like in that way, yes. Like,
because you weren't saying Alan's not helpful. Alan's super helpful.
Yes.
But it's more kind of the
it's just like in the emotional everyday day to day when you're trying to co-parent when the when the kids still have parents.
Right. Yeah.
And not overstepping, because that's the other thing. I never want to overstep because their dad is their dad, just like I'm their mom. Yeah. I don't want somebody else mumming them, if that's not the right word, but like mothering them. Like, I want them to be healthy and like in a healthy relationship, but not like I will always be their mom. Yeah. He will always be their dad.
Yeah. 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 So there probably are those times where, you know, you are trying to discipline or figure something out and Alan's like there, but he's only so far, because it's like, well, like maybe this is what I would do, but like these are your, you got to decide kind of thing. So there can still be that, what you're saying is there's still that loneliness in some aspects of, hey,
absolutely,
like, I'm parenting without my child's biological father with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just what that feels like, what that looks like. And it's just it's a weird place. And I think I just noticed it like on our trip to be like, oh wow, like this is weird. But but in a way, single motherhood prepared me for it.
Right.
Because I was a single mom for 4 years with little kids, right? Yeah. So, and in a way, then sometimes it was less complicated because there wasn't like, yes, there was their dad on the other side, but there wasn't another body in the house parenting in a different way. Right? There's pros and cons. And this is the thing, when people want to get remarried or people like, and I think it's a beautiful thing. I think people should, you know this. This is why I tried to get you on dating websites. Yes. But I just like, do not rush into it and like go in with an open mind, because it's very intricate, the details of being remarried. Yeah. And just betrayal, especially if there's been betrayal.
Yeah. And it's not like a swap out. Like, I feel like some people feel like it's like, oh, especially I feel like the leaving party. Sometimes we'll feel like, oh, I'm just going to leave my spouse. I'm going to find another spouse that I'm more compatible with. They're going to step in and we're going to be one big happy family. I'm just going to replace that husband or that wife with this person. And that could not be further from reality of what actually happens.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
It's very complicated, you know? But yeah, single motherhood parenting definitely helped me, because I mean, you know, like it's a very lonely place to be and it's a very hard place to be to single parent your kids, and what does that look like? Because it's really all encompassing.
Yeah.
So like what does that look like for you right now, especially with the age of your kids? Because people might look at you and be like, oh, like your kids are older, you must have all the time in the world, or like, you know, your kids are off doing this. Like, do you have time for yourself? But it's like, I feel like for me personally, the older my kids have gotten, the more intense it is.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, because you're not fully in control of their schedule. Like, it's easier when they're little to put more time boundaries.
Yes.
But as they get older and they develop their own interests and their own friendships and things, like, they're kind of requesting.
Yes.
Like, a time that I found is a change. And I would say, like I was telling you this off camera, that it struck me as interesting a little while ago. Somebody had asked me just in a friendly way, like, what do you do for fun? Like, what are your hobbies? What do you do in your spare time? And I was just like, what? Like, I've actually never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Probably in a long time. And then I felt kind of silly because I was like, and I'm like in my head thinking, there must be something. There's something I do. I must have a hobby. And I could not
think of something.
Really. And I was just like, well, you know, I'm just like a taxi driver. Like, kind of made a joke of it. And then it really got me thinking more in depth after the conversation, because I was like, yeah, I guess the thing is like, and I know every situation is different too.
Sure.
In my situation, my kids don't go to their other parents. So they don't ever go to their dad's house. So you
never get a break.
Yeah. So it's not like, okay, well, on weekends or every other weekend or every other week or whatever situation sometimes you have, it's not like, oh, I have some days kid free. So that would be different. So maybe if people have that, they would feel differently. But because that's not my situation.
Right.
Yeah. And then just the daily, like, everything, every ride somewhere, every driving somewhere, everything that then falls on me.
Yes.
So I genuinely do not have like free time. Like, I wouldn't even bother getting myself involved into a hobby or something. Because to me, I don't think it'd be relaxing. I would just be more stressed out to have to add one more commitment in my schedule.
Absolutely.
And I know that a seasonal change, like when my kids are like grown and out of the house, then I'll take up some sort of hobby or whatever. But for now, and I think there's a lot of, I don't know how you feel about this, but I put a lot of pressure on myself. I know, like, I have a lot of guilt that I can't seem to overcome for some of the stuff that my kids have been through. And then just some of the differences that happen in your life when you don't have two parents living together.
Yeah.
So I feel like I never want my kids when they're older to ever have to say, oh, we couldn't do XYZ because my parents were divorced.
Right.
And like my mom couldn't do it, or it was too much. Or so I'm always trying to like be at every, and I don't want my kids to also be like, oh, my parent wasn't at my basketball games or at my swim competitions. I looked up and nobody was in the stands for me because, my dad wasn't there. My mom couldn't make it or whatever. Like, I don't know what about that seems so awful to me. So I am like bend over backwards, like breaking my back to be at everything, to rearrange my schedule, to drive them. If they have opportunities, I want to drive them to wherever and do whatever.
Yeah, you're wild. You drive to Toronto multiple times a week.
Yeah, I do right now. We do, yeah. And I feel like my son has never done anything before. So then all of a sudden he got this opportunity, and yeah, it's a bit of a burden, but also, I shouldn't say a burden. I feel bad saying that, but it's different, right? It's a commitment. That's
it's a commitment.
It's a big commitment. Yes. But also I feel like, but it's not fair, because if he had a mom and a dad in the house, we could easily do that. Because one person could do it and then you could tag team and trade off. So to say no, because it's too much for me, then he misses out. Right. And like, is that fair to him? Right. Yeah. Like, those are always the things that go through my mind. So
absolutely.
Then when you start down that road where you're like, I want to try to make it like my kids don't live in a broken home. Right. That's what I do. Then you're like, okay, well, buckle up. Buckle up. It's getting crazy. Yeah. Because you've got your own work, 2 kids, all their stuff, plus you still got to do like laundry and groceries and
your own just everyday life.
Whirlwind. Yeah.
And I do think for you, not that it's like a hobby, but you've like said even just on here how you've like really liked to do the editing for this, for like to do that creative side, because you are very creative.
Yeah.
And you like are very artsy. Yeah. And
I guess this is like a hobby, because we are not getting paid to do this. So this is a giant hobby.
It's true. We're not getting paid yet.
Right, yet. Yes.
Pam. Yeah. Insert yet.
That's right, yeah.
Eventually that money will come with.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
But no, it's, it is. And so I think like that is something that's at least giving you a healthy outlet, because I do think, yes, it is very hard to be a single mom, and it is all encompassing. And you do live with that guilt of like, I don't want my kids to be without, or I have it all the time. Like Alan will always say, like, you're the queen of empty threats. Like you'll say to your kids, like, if you don't misbehave, blah, blah, this is not happening. And I never follow through.
Right. Yeah.
Because I just can't, because I literally, it's that bad. Same, it's just that guilt that I think you carry, that you're just like, and it goes back to that parenting.
It shouldn't be this way.
It shouldn't be this way. This is not what they would have wanted, or, whatever. But I do think that like when it is like time, or even just finding a little space to yourself every week to do something, i.e. edit or a podcast or a walk, or, just something, because you do have to be a person outside of your kids, because they are getting older, and before you know it, they are going to be out of the house. But it's very, very hard.
Yeah, it is hard. It feels like there's not enough time. I would say that is the thing. Like, if there's one thing I would say about single parenting that I dislike the most, it's that time, because I feel like I'm always letting somebody down. Like, if I always try to prioritize my kids. So I don't feel like they probably feel as let down. But then in doing that, then it's like, I don't always have time to be the friend I want to be. Yeah. I don't have time to be like in my own extended family, like with my siblings or with my parents. Like you can't spend as much time.
Yes.
Or my grandparents. Like it's always in my mind, stressing me out and making me feel bad to be like, well, I should be doing more, and I should be calling people more, and I should be going to their house, and I should be doing this. But I try, but it just doesn't feel like enough. And you run out of time. Like the day's over. I'm like, shoot, I didn't do that again today. So that I feel like is the thing that I feel most frustrated with. Is like I can't do all the things I want. I can't be all the things I want. And then if somebody makes a comment of that, like even if sometimes I'll have friends be like, oh, well, you're just always so busy. And I'm always like that just makes me like feel so bad. Yeah. Because it's not untrue, but I'm not really choosing that specifically. I don't know.
And there's a big chunk of it that you're not choosing. Like it's a lifestyle that you were thrown into, right?
It's like,
and that's hard to understand. Yeah. I feel it, and I definitely feel it more, funny enough, in the winter months. Just time, because you really only do have till, after dinner-ish. Like there's a lot of people that just don't want to go out.
Yeah. When it's
after
dark,
dinner,
it feels like
dark.
The day's over.
Where at least in the summer, and like once March hits and we change the clocks, it's brighter till 7. So like you could meet a friend and say, hey, I've got to get my kid to this, and this, but let's meet for a walk even at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And then 9 o'clock, it's still dark, like light outside. You know what I mean? So I do feel like some of it feels heavier in different, like actual seasons. Yeah. Not seasons of life, like physical changing of the seasons. Yeah. Because you actually do have more time and more energy.
Yeah, that's a real thing. I think you're right. Yeah.
So like right now it's like the dull of winter. It's almost like, even for me, it's like all I have is the capacity to like make dinner for my family, clean up, take them to extracurriculars. That's it.
Yeah. Right.
And like anything other than that feels extremely overwhelming, right? Yeah. But in the summer, oh man, I could party all day long.
Yeah. That's so true.
I could be up from 6 till midnight, because the sun's up early. Yeah. You're up till 10, and you have all the energy to do all the things. So I do think we also have to have grace. Yeah. Just on like, people always talk about like SADS, or like seasonal depression disorder, right? I don't have that. I think I'm realizing more and more I have seasonal anxiety disorder, if that's even a thing. I'm making it up, instead of seasonal depression. But, it really is a thing, and it affects people's moods, and I think it affects their parenting. Yeah, I think it affects how they like have an outlook on life. Yeah, and I think we need to talk about that more. Yeah, to be like, oh, it's like absolutely being a single mom is so hard, because you're one person. Yeah, you're one person trying to cram everything in, and that's so hard. But then I bet you, like in the summer, you might have more free time. I mean, you work a ton in the summer, so obviously that's hard too, but I'm just saying there are like
ebbs and flows.
If people could even understand the life of a single mom, to be like, it literally is almost like a little roller coaster, and it will, if you want to get on this ride with me, get on. But this is how it's going to always be. It will never be a smooth ride. It will never be a plane ride with no turbulence. Being a single mom,
GPT your way out of it.
No, being a single mom is literally like being on a boat with 20-foot waves, or a plane ride with severe turbulence. Not even moderate turbulence, severe. Those oxygen masks are coming down.
They're coming down.
They are coming down, because it's all encompassing.
Yeah. And I feel like in our society, we've so normalized divorce and even single parenting that like there's not, I feel like even years ago, like, I don't know, or maybe it was just I was sheltered. I don't know. I feel like when I was a kid, like it seemed like there was less people I knew that had divorced
absolutely.
parents. And if they did, it would be like, oh, like they have a single mom. Oh, like they're divorced. Okay. And there was almost like a grace or like an understanding, like, oh, that's really like man down. Like we're
absolutely.
That's tough. Whereas now,
so normalized.
I feel like it's so normalized that there's the expectation, and not that I'm saying you should get a special treatment or anything like that. I'm just saying the expectation from two people in a 2-parent home is the same on single parents often as other people from 2-parent homes. But really, like, you are a man down, but there's not a grace for that. It's just like you're still expected to be at all the things, do all the things, even though you're doing twice the amount of work, essentially, right? Because you're not being able to split it with your partner. Yeah.
And people will say, you know, I know there's a lot of people that will say, like, even 50-50 parents, like, you're not a single parent. No. Yeah. You're a single parent. Even if you were with somebody that had them 50% of the time, you are still a single parent when you have your children. Yeah. You know, so I remember my ex used to say that all the time. He's like, you're not a single parent. And essentially I'm like, you literally have them every other weekend.
Yeah. Totally.
So yes,
it's not even like you had them 50-50.
Like, but you know, but regardless, even if you did have them 50, when you are parenting those kids, you are a single parent. You are on your own. Yeah. That expectation that falls on you to get them out for breakfast, get their school lunches, pack their lunches, pick them up from school, take them to extracurricular, come home, make sure there's dinner, make sure that your house is in order. I'm sorry, you get 10 minutes to yourself at the end of the night?
Yeah, totally.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. And there's nobody to split even like the household chores, which I know in some ways is like the lesser of things, but that's what I feel like is like exhausting. When you're like taking out the garbage, bringing it and cutting the lawn and raking and like it's just, and then you're also doing all the cleaning and the laundry. And like the kids as they get older, they help here and there. But it's different, right? Like kids don't do to like mom standards sometimes. And then there's things.
And you also don't want them, we talked about this a little bit earlier off camera, but like to do all those things. Yes, there are things that you want them to learn and to do because that's just responsibilities in life. But there's certain things I don't want them to do because I'm just like, your dad should be the one doing that.
Totally. Like I have this thing, a pet peeve, and it hasn't happened a lot with us, but I've even seen it happen with other people. I can't stand when people make the comment to my son, and I know they mean in an encouraging way. So I'll say that. It's not, I'm not mad at the person. Yes. It's just a pet peeve when people say things like, well, you're the man of the house or you're the man of the house now. I'm always like, no, do not put that on him. He is not the man of the house. He's a little boy. Yeah. Well, now he's getting older, but especially he's a little boy. Yeah. And he gets to be a little boy. He's not the man of this house. Yeah. The man of this house left. Yes. And that's not on him. Yeah. And don't ever put that on him. I never want him to, because I think especially boys, if a father leaves, they naturally take on that role and that responsibility. They feel it. And we don't need to put any more pressure on that. Like and I try to like, you know, keep it the same as it would be. Like if like my son had his dad here, you know, if it snowed, they'd probably be out there like shoveling together. Yes. So it's like, I'm not just going to be like, you have to go shovel because you're the only guy here. It's like, we'll do it together. Well, even this morning, it's like garbage day. We had a little bit extra garbage too. I'm like, I'm going to go do it with you, but you're going to come help me. Yes. So he's still doing it, but I'm not just dumping
it on him.
And sometimes he does do things by himself. Sometimes like, hey, can you go cut the grass? He will. But I don't want him to feel like that. Like that I replaced my spouse, who that's their responsibility to help me. With him. Your responsibility is to help me in the capacity of a child, not as a husband. Yeah. I'm not going to dump that on you. Yeah. Yeah. And and I know people mean well, or if I hear people say it about other people's kids, they're like, well, he's the man of the house. So I'm always like I just like cringe. Yeah. Like, no, that's not fair. Don't put that pressure
on a kid,
on a little boy. Like, but
even on a teenage boy.
Totally.
Like it's not their responsibility. No. Right? And they're already carrying enough weight of their own emotions and their own, what they're going through in puberty years and school and work. And it's too much. Yeah. It is too much. Yeah. So it is a lot. And I think that a lot of, I guess more grace needs to be held for single parents.
Yeah.
Not just single moms, because there are single dads out there. I look at Alan. I'm like, he was a single dad.
He was doing. Yeah, that's
right?
wild.
With 4 kids, working.
Totally.
It does happen. Obviously, in our cases, it was different, but just like more grace to be like, how can we help, or what does this look like, or not even like just understanding, being a better friend to be like, oh, this is why you don't have the capacity for this right now.
Totally. Yeah.
Or like, this is why you need extra help right now.
Yeah.
Or this is why you need to talk extra right now. Yeah. Like it's having that capacity to be like, man, you're going through a lot.
Yeah.
And that's anything. That's not just parenting.
Totally. And it's funny because even like I know of a couple of situations even in my life where I think this goes for all of us. So I would be guilty of what I'm about to say in a different way. But when you're not going through it, you can even imagine or try to have compassion, but you don't actually understand it.
Yeah.
Like you don't understand the full depth of like stress or whatever. And I know that's probably the same for me with other situations, you know, people that maybe have like a terminally ill child or things like you can't have compassion, but you don't really know what that walk is like, right?
Yeah.
And because I even know, I don't know if you have this experience, but I know a couple people, and I'm not talking about you at all, also, just, you know, that were single moms.
Yes.
And I know they struggled and stuff. And then I've seen them like get remarried to very like helpful spouses or whatever. And then it's like they forget because then sometimes there's still the comment of like, well, how come you're not doing this? Or you're too busy for me or you don't do that. And I'm thinking, oh, I would think of all people that would know, like you would understand. But then I'm like, oh, that's so funny. I think you actually forget. Yeah. Then when you do get in a relationship again and you have all this help, you forget what that was like.
Yeah,
to 100%. Be really struggling on. And some people don't forget. Like I feel 100%. Like you're good at not like because you're kind of still doing it because you never had like a 50-50, right? Where you had like all this free time. So you're still kind of in the thick of it. But there's some situations.
Well, and I married Alan who traveled a ton.
Totally.
So it wasn't like I came into a picture where
he's like, you know, there's every night.
Yeah, where there's months where he's not traveling, but then there's months where he's gone.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
And then home. And then I have 6 of them, right? Like I'm more when they're younger. So I do try to understand it still to be like, oh, or just to have compassion or whatever. My problem is I know so many people going through divorces right now or like big life events and I want to help all of them, even financially.
No.
I'm like, I can't, like around Christmas, like we were helping like a few different people and I'm like, I want to be able to help everyone.
I know.
And I just, I'm like, and then I help one and then I feel bad for not helping the other. Yeah. And I'm like, but we wouldn't have money if I could help everyone.
No, that's a real thing.
You know? And so it's like, and because I think our worlds are so big and we like help a lot of different people, it is hard because I'm like, I do still only have a limited capacity.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to help as many people as I can even.
Yeah.
But my capacity is
totally.
Shrinking. Or not shrinking, just
in this season of life, if you don't have I feel the same. I have a friend right now, actually, she's a single mom. She's got like 3 young girls. We don't live close, which is tricky. And I try to like keep in communication with her a lot, but I wish I could go to her house like every day. I'm like, I wish I could just go. I'm going to help you do your laundry. I want to help you clean. I want to help you. But it's like, I actually can't. Like, I don't have the time. And it like stresses me out. Yeah. Because I know she needs so much support and she could benefit from it. And I have such a heart for her because I know what that feels like because she's in a similar situation where her kid's dad is like not in, like he's not sharing parenting time. So she's not getting a break. And I'm like, oh, I just wish, and I know probably in her life there are people who have capacity that help her. And I have to try to remember that. But I'm like, I just wish that I could like have all this time and money and like go there and just help her and support her every day. But I literally can't because I have to put my own kids first. And she has to put her own kids first. And then by the time you do the things and you're working and you're taking care of your house and you're with your kids, there's such little time left to split between everybody. Yeah. It's just like,
it's a lot.
I don't know. I don't know if like everybody feels that way, but I feel like I'm always like,
because you want to help like, and you definitely have the heart
you're
of
like stretched so thin, but
a helper. We were talking earlier just even about Lisa Turker's new book called The Unwanted Divorce and how I'm like, guys, you need to read it. Even if you're not divorced, even if like you just know somebody that's going through divorce, read this book. It has been life-changing, but they offer like these weekends away where you can go and it's like a weekend of healing and you just go with other like divorced women.
Yeah.
And it did get me, I said to Pam earlier, it's like, it got me thinking because there's nothing like that in Canada.
Yeah.
It's in the US and it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like a lot of money.
Which
but it almost makes
single
it,
moms don't have.
that's right. And it almost makes it unattainable to even do. And I'm like, oh man, I wish that we could just create a space or do something for moms where it's like, so low cost because there's a cost to anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's just, but not so like we're talking, I think it was like $6,000-$7,000 American for 3 or 4 days. I just wish there's a space that we could create for like women to like be able to come so that she does get her one break and that we could just come and pour into people. I don't know. I know. And I wasn't even thinking like this year, but I thought of it too late in the year. But what I want to do next year is something small, like, but on the same age, I want to organize a thing where like get maybe some volunteers, like some teenagers or something, where a couple nights in maybe like end of November, beginning of December, we offer like free childcare to single moms. That's one like little thing. I remember when my kids were littler, like now kids kind of know, they ask for when they were little, that was my biggest thing. I'm like, I need to do Christmas shopping. Yes.
They're always with me. I don't want to have to hire a babysitter and pay for babysitters. Yes. That's so expensive.
Yeah.
And it would just, even the practical little things like that, like sometimes I'd even be out and I'd see something and I'm like, oh, I wish I could get that. And like sometimes you're like trying to hide it under something in the cart and the kids are like, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, nothing. Like just those little things or like getting something for their birthday or, but I thought of that this year at Christmas time and I thought, I want to do that next year. I want to try to organize something ahead of time so single moms could have like a couple nights where they can shop. Your kids are taken care of, and then, you know, it's just like a practical help. Because it's like little things like that you don't think about until you're in the moment. And I remember when they were little, and that was before like Amazon was really
a thing
big and people ordered a lot on Amazon. But I remember thinking like, this is so hard. Like, I don't know how to get them Christmas presents because I'm never not with them.
Little things like that. I actually grew up at a church in Hamilton. My mom still goes there. And when we grew up, there was a single mom ministry at the church. And it's so funny because I look back and I'm like, God, like just knowing that how involved I was even as a little girl in that ministry and into my teens and then where my life would end up. But essentially once a month, they would have like different ladies from the church come in and cook a big dinner for these single moms. And their kids would get babysat and they would go to a program. So they'd get a nice dinner where it doesn't go cold. Their kids are taken care of. And, you know, and these were a lot of community women. Yeah. Like it wasn't like church women. Like it was like reaching out to the community. And there was probably 100 to 150 women every week every month. And I look back at that. I'm like, man, if we could do something like that now, we're just once a month. These moms know they're going to get a hot dinner. Their kids are taken care of. And I remember like helping with the kids from a young age. Yeah. And just like, wow, like what an impact I remember it having on me as a little kid volunteering, but the impact that the women would say. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, we need to do something like that.
It's true. I feel like because back then it was a little more untraditional.
Yes.
We were aware, but now it's like, I don't see that as much. Even in churches, I don't see the support for single parents as much because I think it's so normalized. They just be like, oh, they just expect you to be like, you're fine, figure it out. Right. Yeah. And sure, there is a point to that. Like you do have to just figure it out. You have to make sacrifices. And there's things you can't do because you are like, you never
single parent, one income. Yeah.
But it would be, I would love to see some support that way because what I found too is like, I know some other single moms and then you all feel a heart for each other. Yes. So you want to like help each other, but really you can't. It's like the blind leading the blind. Like, you're like, that's even like with this friend I have. I'm like, oh, I can't help her as much as I know she needs.
Because you're still living in it too.
Totally. Right. Yes. And then I know she has a couple other friends who are also single moms and they try to help, but you're like, you're kind of like, drawing from the empty well. Absolutely. As opposed to maybe having an opportunity where people that are in a different stage of life
can like come in and pour in. Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, we got to talk off camera.
I know. Get some ideas going for that. But yeah, I mean, it's
a thing. Like and obviously you guys have listened to us for long enough that even if you're not a single parent, just like to have the heart for it, or like, if this would be something you'd be interested in, like working with us on. Just how we can, I don't know, change people's lives. And you're obviously, you're still in it. And so it's like, okay, what does that look like? But I actually think because you're still in it, walking in it, you would bring a whole different insight and perspective.
Yeah. And even I feel like just the support too, like even if it's, obviously I still want to do the thing at Christmas because I think that would be really awesome. But even just having somebody understand you is, and the things that nobody thinks about or doesn't realize, like even, you know, like I had a situation sort of recently with my kids and their dad where during a visit, there was like a conflict and then there's a lot of like upsetness or whatever. And then when he leaves, like, and he just goes back to his house and probably like gets a snack and watches TV and whatever. And then you're left. And a lot of moms say this happens at like drop offs, right? Like a parent will transition and will drop the kids off. And then there's like crying or behavioral things or outbursts or the kids are upset about something that happened, but you're the only parent there. They're taking it out on you. And like what that feels like over and over and over, where you're like, I am still cleaning up your messes. Stuff that has nothing to do with me. You come in, you cause all this chaos and then leave. And then you're the parent who for a day or sometimes a couple days, you're like trying to drag your kid out of this funk and you're trying to be extra. Then it's like you're already running on empty, but you have to be like extra supportive and extra understanding and come alongside them and be like, it's okay. And blah, blah, blah. And checking in. And you're just like, this is exhausting. And there's like no end to it. It just happens over and over and over.
It's a spinning wheel. And you're right. Just to be with people that would understand it. Right. Because even though, you know, even in my situation that I'm divorced and remarried, my kids still have to go see their dad. And transition days, 14 years later, are still hard. Crazy. Like they're still on transition days. There's behavioral issues. There's different, and that's going and coming. You know, and people just don't understand that.
No,
they're like, oh, it's been like so long. Like what? I'm like,
no, because
you try living with one parent that you love so much and then going to another parent you love so much and then missing this parent because you're with this parent. I can't imagine what that would feel like. I don't understand it.
No.
I can understand it from like an adult perspective of walking through a divorce, but I can't understand it from a child's perspective.
Totally.
Right? And so it's like having compassion and understanding and how, I don't know, how we
and I feel forward. Like, honestly, like that's what I know you and I are both so pro-marriage. And it's funny because we talk about like divorce a lot on this podcast just because we walked through it, but we're both so pro-marriage for that reason. Like there is the layers of destruction that go on for decades that you don't even think. If you're telling yourself it'll all be fine, you're fooling yourself. Yes, can things get better in certain areas? Sure. But it's like a Pandora's box you're opening. You don't know what you're trading. Like, oh, maybe, you know, I don't have to deal with this problem, but you're creating 10 more problems. And aside from like abuse or something dangerous, if there's a way
to work on it,
to fight through,
to
go to counseling or whatever, 100%, to be forgiving. And I know that's hard. If you've been hurt or betrayed and you have to forgive, that is really hard to do. It's hard to trust somebody again sometimes. But if you can find a way, if the other person's willing.
If two willing parties and obviously without abuse. I know you said that, but I want to drive home that point because sometimes we get in trouble to be like, are you just saying?
Stay no matter what.
And we're like, no. But if you can make it work, make it work.
I think at any stage, if your kids are little, if they're bigger, like there's that thing where people say like, oh, we're waiting till the kids like, get older or move in university. That's not even a real thing.
Because then you know what? They're also going to get spouses. Then you're going to have grandkids. Then you're going to have to now not share time with your kids, but now sharing time with your grandkids. And then this person's coming in and then you're going to become a possessive grandma. Like it's never a good time.
And their whole life, what was their reality? You ripped the carpet out from under them, right? Like, so there's no like good time to get a divorce. It's like if you can keep your family together at all costs, like aside from physical safety, we know we're saying that. Like I believe in that so strongly because the marriage is hard. We know that. And there are seasons that are incredibly hard. But divorce, living that out it's awful. It's literally the worst thing ever. It is the worst thing.
Absolutely. And because you just don't know what you're going to get. Right. And it's still a thing where my biggest pet peeve is when people are like, oh, well, it's been so long. And I'm like,
Like, that's not a real thing.
It's not a real thing. You walk it out.
A real thing.
Like, you try walking this out. It doesn't matter how long it's been, right? And so I don't know. I just think it's having like the grace and the compassion to not lose it on them. When they say that, for starters.
And it's like partly true, right? Like, yes, some things get better.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yes.
But is it just this like, you know, happy-go-lucky, like, oh, we're all getting along? Probably not. And I always hate too when people make like decisions on these like anomalies or like this exception to the rule. It's like, well, I know this one person who's best friends with their ex and they it's like, okay. But that's not the reality for 99% of the people. The reality is the opposite. It's like horrifically painful for life.
For life.
So, you know, don't base your thing like, oh, I'm going to be that one anomaly person that
we're on vacation together.
Right?
You know,
totally. It's like, yes, can things get better? Can things improve? Sometimes they get worse. And sometimes they're just always hard, especially for kids. They're so hard.
And sometimes it gets worse and then it gets better and then it gets worse. And it's like that roller coaster. Yeah. Right? So there's no, I don't know.
Yeah. I think just working on it and avoiding divorce at all costs. I hate divorce. I hate it so much. Yeah. I tell people it's the absolute worst thing. Yeah. And I think people think too, because it's funny. I had somebody say to me recently that she's thinking of divorcing her husband. They're not getting along. And I can, like, some of her points, there's some dysfunctional things happening there for sure. And they also have children. And she said to me, like, you always seem like just so happy and like put together and like your life is going great. And I was just like, sure. Like, and that's real in ways. I'm not faking it. Yeah. But I just flat out told her, I said, it's the absolute worst thing ever. And if you can avoid it, don't do it. I hate divorce. I wish I wasn't divorced. I wish my kids didn't have to experience it. Yeah. It's not just the divorce. It's all the things that, all the consequences that come afterwards.
Years and years and years and years.
And she was kind of like, oh, like, I think taken aback because I was like really passionate about it. I was like, don't do it. I was like, literally don't do it. Yeah. If you can avoid it at any cost, don't. And she was just kind of like, oh. And then afterwards I felt bad. I was like, maybe that was too intense.
You're like, sorry. But I was like, but you're like, I'm passionate about this.
Truth. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's fine. Like, are some things better? Yes. Do I love not like having to deal with some of the daily things in my home? For sure. Yeah. But for my kids, I wish it wasn't this way. Yeah. I just wish it was not this way for them.
Yeah. And you're like, and that's your reality. You're allowed to feel that. Like, yes, there's things that you like better for sure, that you're not walking on eggshells and you're not having someone lose their. Yeah. I was going to say a bad word. Yeah. Yep. Use it. Use, whatever.
I'll be so proud.
Yeah. She was. Yes. Welcome to 2026, Leah. But it still is hard. Yeah. And I think that is the reality that people, things people don't want to talk about is that divorce is hard years later.
Yeah. Like it's like hard forever.
For life.
Really. Yeah.
Because I can't even imagine what it's going to be like when the kids get married and then grandkids and, it's just going to complicate it even more. And so it's a lot. So all that to say, work on your marriage, guys.
Yeah. Do whatever it takes in the small moments now before it gets too big, I would say. Because it's not easy. Being a child of divorce is not easy.
Yeah, date your spouse. But actually try. Like, don't just be like, if your marriage is shit. Sorry, came out. There it was. Okay. 2026, Leah swore it. Beep it out. Don't just be like, oh, it's crap and I'm not going to do anything about it. Like, work on it then. Yeah. Like, make sure you're both intentionally working on yourselves and your marriage so that it doesn't have to stay crap. Because you can, if you have two willing people that are both willing, then it can get better.
And you will have to humble yourself because it's when someone's offended you or hurt you, I think it's like our kind of like sinful nature or just natural human, whatever you want to call it, to hold offense. And you're like, no, or like want to get even or be like, well, I'm not going to be the one to apologize. I'm going to stand on this line because you did X, Y, Z. And you might be right in that. They could have wronged you. Yeah. But you have to be humble. Yeah. Like you have to humble yourself and open your heart and forgive somebody, even when they were in the wrong. Even if you've done nothing wrong and someone has hurt you, you have to accept an apology. Yeah. You have to humble yourself and give another chance. And that is so hard. Yeah. And I think a lot of pride is what keeps people from
making that right decision.
Yeah, even being able to reconcile. Because it's like, no.
I also think this is why in the Bible, even in the church world, why it gets referenced to like our relationship with God is like the bride and the Christ, right? Because like it's like husbands lay down your life for your wives. Wives submit to your husbands, and like obviously not like whatever. That's a whole other topic of submission, but
not in like a dysfunctional way.
Yeah, not in a dysfunctional way, right? But it is true. It's like it is the hardest thing you'll have to do, but it is worth it.
It is so worth it
for your kids.
I agree, because we love marriage.
We do.
We love families, and we just want you guys to experience the fullness of joy in a family. So we just like spread the word about pro-marriage.
Spread the word about being pro-marriage. Yeah. But guys, thank you. Thank you for listening to our wild shenanigans. Yep. Our ups and downs, our heavy, our laughter, our all the things. I think we got some good tidbits at the beginning there.
I know. It was like, a little light at the beginning, and then we just dove deep.
We got there. We got there. But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode.
Have a good week. Bye.